Yeah, just a quick review of the Ikeepfit Cordless Knee Massager with heat. So this is basically made for people that are having some kind of knee pain or having some kind of problems with their knee, like knee arthritis, or they had some injury or something. And the idea here is that, you're applying heat and vibration to the muscles in the knee. So we all know that, if you heat something up, it increases the circulation. The more circulation you have to something, the faster it heals. Plus, heat just kind of calms down the muscles, and heat helps pain, just generally speaking. Vibration is kind of the same way. It kind of relaxes the muscles, especially having like a lot of muscular component to your pain. Something like this would be very beneficial. So a few particulars about this brace. Well, I guess it's not really a brace, kind of a massager. It looks kind of like a brace. It has 5 temperature controls, which is nice because you can vary it. It also has 3 vibration levels too, so that's good too. So you don't have to do it high or low. There's kind of an in-between one. So other things you can do if you're having knee pain, besides heat and vibration, which is kind of massage. I'm just getting that from this book, Bulletproof Your Knee, in case you're wondering. If you are having any kind of knee problems or knee pain, highly suggest that you do one exercise at least for your quadriceps muscle. So your quadriceps muscle is a group of 4 muscles on the top of your leg here. Now here's your patella or your kneecap, and right above it is the quadriceps. It's made up of 4 muscles. That's why they call it the quads. So collectively, they're just calling these 4 muscles the quad or the quadricep muscles. So what they're finding is that people with various knee problems, actually just about any knee problem you can name, probably show you a study showing that you have a selective problem with your quadriceps muscle, which is a big stabilizer of your knee. So for instance, knee swelling in the quadriceps. One study demonstrated that even as little as 20 milliliters of fluid in your knee, which is just over a tablespoon, is enough to decrease the strength of your quadricep muscle. So if you have any kind of swelling in your knee, like acutely, like you just injured it, or any chronic swelling, probably going to have problems with your with your quadricep strength. And here again, researchers test the muscles. They test all the muscles around the knee. Basically, it's just the quadriceps that they find is the problem, not like your hamstrings, for instance. Knee injuries in the quadriceps, if you've had any kind of broke your lower leg bone, like your tibia, surgical opening of the joint, you've had knee surgery before, researchers find you usually have some kind of quad weakness. Ligament problems in the quadriceps. Here's a go to the ACL, anterior cruciate ligament. You've heard of football players injuring their ACL or tearing it. So look at this. One study looked at people that completely ruptured their ACL. Researchers found the strength of their quadriceps muscle in the injured leg was decreased like 25 to 30%. So here again, you're taking a major stabilizer of your knee and you're knocking down its strength 25 to 30%. It's going to be really hard to get better, unless you get that thing strengthened, because that's a huge hit on your knee stability. Same thing with the posterior cruciate ligament, the medial collateral ligament. Knee pain in the quadriceps. So experimentally, they've shown, hey, if we induce pain, quadriceps weakness happens. So if you have any kind of chronic knee pain, you probably have some decreased quad strength. Now here's an interesting one, knee arthritis in the quadriceps. So if you Google knee arthritis and quadriceps, very much consistent in the literature that the two go kind of hand in hand. So if you have knee arthritis, researchers go out and test people, test their quad strength and their hamstrings and all the muscles around the knee. They find basically it's just your quadriceps muscle that are super weak. And interestingly enough, there are randomized controlled trials showing that if you take a group of people with knee arthritis and you if you give them just strengthening exercises for their quadriceps muscle, that their knee pain starts to go away. And even more interesting, even some of these studies are showing that people with the strongest quads that have knee arthritis have the least progression of their knee arthritis. So lots of reasons to strengthen your quads. Patellofemoral pain syndrome in the quadriceps, and this goes on and on. Any kind of knee problem, just even if you have knee pain and you don't even know why, strengthen your quadriceps. Fine-tune control over your knee. Here they're talking about the hip muscles. So sometimes you can have really bad knee pain. There's absolutely nothing wrong with your knee, but the problem actually is up at the hip. So classic cases like iliotibial band syndrome. So if you take a group of people with iliotibial band syndrome, you muscle test their hip muscles. If they have unusually weak hip abductors, so the hip abductor, what it does is it keeps your pelvis level as you're taking a step. Also brings your leg out to the side. And here again, just like with knee arthritis, you take a group of people with iliotibial band syndrome and you strengthen their hip abductors, the iliotibial band syndrome starts to go away. So that's interesting. Optimize knee flexibility. Well, we all know you need a flexible knee. It needs to be able to bend and straighten. What a lot of people don't know is that your knee actually rotates. About the last 10 to 15 degrees of extension, that's you straightening your leg out, it actually rotates laterally. And here's a little test to see if you have that accessory motion, which you need to have a fully functioning knee. You can stretch that out. Last thing you can work on, increased dynamic knee stability. So here we're talking about proprioception. So proprioception is your position sense. So if I suddenly turn the lights out now, you'd probably be able to tell me whether your knee was bent or straight. And that's because you have these receptors in the joint and the muscles around the knee constantly giving your brain feedback as to where your knee is in space. So what they find in people with various knee problems, when they go check in their proprioception, it's just really not what it should be. Now, it's not like these people don't know where their knee is, because that'd be like a neurological kind of disorder. But it's just not what it should be, which you need, for like reaction times and stuff like that. You always need to know exactly where your knee is, because, let's say you step off a curb unexpectedly, you usually have a few milliseconds to contract your quads, and you have to know exactly where that knee's at. Anyway, lots of stuff you can work on. Hey, nothing's as quick and easy as putting on one of these and, get that heat going, get some vibration going, and just to calm your knee down. So anyway, that's good, something really good to consider, I think. So check it out.